As you already know, the UK left the EU political structures and the European Parliament on January 31st in 2020. Now, the Brexiteers blame the government for not implementing Brexit properly, while others want the UK to join the EU again. But the EU, of course, moved forward after Brexit. And so, in the next weeks, I will make a test here on the channel by bringing news about the EU in my midday videos. That is supposed to keep people informed what the UK has left indeed and what people want to return to make informed decisions and give it a more fact-based approach. Since my magazine channel is reserved for information on the development of the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine for the time being, that is another reason to do it here on this channel. But I anyway believe exactly my audience on this channel needs this kind of information. And by the way, there is a playlist EU now. Last week, the Commission adopted a proposal to facilitate cross-border activities for non-profit associations in the EU. It will improve the functioning of the internal market by removing legal and administrative barriers for non-profit associations that operate or wish to operate in more than one member state, thus promoting the role non-profit associations play in generating economic and societal values in the EU and allow a level playing field between them. Currently, when non-profit associations engage in activities in another member state, then the one they are established in, they do not receive uniform acknowledgement of their legal personality and capacity and often need to register for a second time or even form a new legal entity in that member state. About 310,000 non-profit associations currently affected by those obstacles when operating in another country are estimated to reduce administrative costs with the new rules by up to 770 million euros per year, potentially amounting up to 8.5 billion within the time frame of 18 years. Moreover, about another 185,000 associations are expected to engage in cross-border activities if these barriers are tackled. And that could generate up to 4.2 billion euros of value over this 15-year period. And the Commission's proposal introduces an additional legal form of a European cross-border association in member states' national legal systems, which is specifically designed for cross-border purposes and will reduce legal and administrative burden when it comes to the recognition and establishment of non-profit associations engaging in activities in another member state. Once established in one member state, an ECBA will be recognized automatically and will be able to engage in activities in all member states, including economic activities, thereby allowing non-profit organizations to unleash their full societal and economic potential in the EU. ECBAs will coexist alongside with other national associations at member state level. For matters that are not covered by the proposed directive, such as taxation treatment, member states shall treat ECBAs in the same way as comparable national non-profit associations, thereby respecting member states' traditions in this area and not affecting existing associations. And these new rules will establish in each member state a new legal form of non-profit associations specifically designed for cross-border purposes, that's the ECBA, next to existing national legal forms. But it will also allow automatic recognition of this new legal form across the Union once an ECBA is registered in one member state, thanks to the ECBA certificate. And it will provide for harmonized rules on transfer of registered office, thus allowing non-profit associations to reap the full benefit of the freedom of establishment and the freedom to provide services, goods and capital in the Union. And it will ensure the ECBA fully enjoys the benefits of the internal market regardless of the member state of registration by having free and non-discriminatory access to public funding in each member state it operates. While the proposed directive, the Commission has adopted a regulation of tactical nature, amending the internal market information system and the single digital gateway regulations to allow cooperation and to exchange information among competent authorities through the IMI system, and to conduct digital operation through the SDG, allowing access to information about ECBAs available online. The proposal will be presented to the European Parliament and the Council for approval. Once adopted, Member States will have 2 years to transpose the directive into national law. Non-profit associations create economic and societal value across the Union and conduct activities in key sectors such as health, care and social services, culture, employment services, sports, research and development, and education. And 3.8 million non-profit associations exist in EU member states, contributing 2.9% of EU GDP. Acknowledging the need to create an enabling environment for the non-profit sector, the proposal stems from the European Parliament resolution with recommendations to the Commission on a statute for European cross-border associations and non-profit organizations adopted in February 22. The proposal is embedded in the broader political objectives of the European Green Deal and the Digital Decade 2030, and embraces the political priority for an economy that works for people. The proposal contributes to the objectives of the Action Plan for the Social Economy and is linked to some of its actions, such as the proposal for a Council recommendation on developing social economy framework conditions in the Member States and the 2 Commission staff working documents on relevant taxation frameworks for social economy entities and on non-discriminatory taxation of charitable organizations and their donors, principles drawn from EU case law. And if you want to know more about this, the next video is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.